The marketplace is arguably the #1 feature of Mineclub, generating a diverse and unique economy within Minecraft. The entire economy is driven solely by players through the server's currency, gems. Gems can be acquired through a wide variety of methods, but the main two are playing games and selling items. However, another way exists for players who own unobtainable items, market interest. And quite clearly, it is fatal to the future prosperity of Mineclub's economy. The market interest system was originally introduced in March as a way to nudge players in the direction of listing their beta items on the market. Whoever held the lowest price on a beta item would receive 3,000 club coins every 5 minutes. A week or so later, reduced to 1,000. This may not seem like a lot, but at the time, not only were you able to stack interest on multiple items, but the price of beta items at this time were very, very low. Beta titles were about 30,000 club coins, sabers were about 80,000, and beta hats were around 200,000 to 300,000. Many players very easily abuse this interest system to essentially gain more beta items just by grinding the marketplace. In my case, I went from having a singular saber to 2 titles, 4 sabers, and 1 hat approximately 20 days after joining the server. Not only was this allowing others like myself to gain more beta items, it also significantly increased the amount of club coins entering circulation. Because like I said earlier, the economy is entirely player driven, and 100% of the coins you spend on the marketplace go into the hands of another player. Fast forward to now, and market interest has undergone many changes. The rate of interest is now set to be 20 gems per second at most, for a total of 1,200 gems per minute. Each player can only list 1 item for interest at a time, and now the price of everything is so incredibly high that it would take the course of multiple days actively grinding market to have the same effect as interest had in March. There's still a wide variety of players that do this and have been successful, which is a major red flag, as this means over 7 million gems is actively entering the economy every day with less than 1,500 concurrent players. Even worse is that there is almost no way for gems to be removed from the economy other than profile backgrounds, which just don't make up for it at all. Not even just this, but prices of items jump around so much at this point for the sake of interest and interest alone. It's all being controlled by a small group of rich individuals on the server that gain more money in-game with virtually no risk. Most people are wondering, why is this such a threat? Let's think about it more like this. Market interest is essentially simulating printing off $7 million every day in an area populated of less than 1,500 people. This is inflation at its peak, and it needs to be stopped before we start seeing soda cans selling for 10,000 gems each. My solution here is based on reversing the market interest system, taking it out entirely and replacing it with market fees. When you list an item for a price, not only would this stop millions of gems entering the economy, it would also begin diminishing the amount that's already in circulation. While many players begged for the market interest system to come back after its initial removal, the server's economy is at risk when interest comes into play. Logistically speaking, it's likely that after this change, players would opt out of using the marketplace to sell their items and resort to trading directly, and adding a fee to trading is likely to be too much. The best solution, which isn't really one I'm the most supportive of that I know of, would be to deny the ability of adding gems into a trade request. This would essentially mean that anyone wanting gems directly would have to go through the market. Of course, newer players would still be affected greatly by this, and it would take a long time for richer players to really see any effect of themselves. I think if we implement different fees based on the rarity of the item, it could more equally affect all players regardless of their state of wealth on the server. These numbers are just an example, but here's what I have in mind. So for common, uncommon, and rare items, they actually aren't going to be facing a fee, as the collector exists, and it seems as if the collector deals with those items enough as is, and there's not really a purpose in adding a fee to them since they're already typically pretty low priced. Epic items will have a 15% fee, mythical items at 20%, and unobtainable items at 25%. In conclusion, this system, this idea, could ultimately bring the value of gems to a very high point, which is overall better for the economy, as when these new players come in, inflation will inevitably happen, and it would be best to mitigate that ahead of time so that when these prices start inflating, it isn't an insanely ridiculous number. And even if it is an insanely ridiculous number, it's unlikely that it's going to be bought, and therefore the person listing it, they're just kind of wasting their time. If you have any thoughts on this, agree or disagree, please let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. And that is Mineclub's Most Fatal Flaw.